Our top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. 67 rescued, 10 dead. Government unable to say how many persons were aboard MV Bereimma. Survivors remembered the screams. Father awaits missing son. Opening of National TOSHAOS Council Conference postponed to a day later amid MV Bereimma tragedy. Location of vessel confirmed. $35 million Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge 3 months behind schedule. Technical issues on approaches being addressed. And in sport, West Indies lose thriller at Kensington against New Zealand. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Alethea Grant with the Monday 20th July 2026 edition of the HGP Nightly News. In the news tonight, the government's account of the MV Bereimma's disaster has shifted significantly from an urgent search for 133 people to an investigation shrouded by an unreliable records, positive cannabis test, and the suspension of the ferry's loading and dispatch team. We have more details in this report.
The government still cannot say with certainty how many people or how many cargo were aboard the MV Bereimma when it capsized over the weekend. While officials work through unreliable records, survivors have supplied a more immediate account: a sinking vessel, parents searching desperately for sleeping children, and passengers fighting their way in rough seas. By Sunday morning, government reported that 67 people had been rescued: 41 men, 11 women, and 15 children. 6 of the children were boys, and 9 were girls. Public Works Minister Juan Edgell also on Sunday rejected initial claims that the MV Bereimma had been overloaded or had suffered engine or mechanical failure. Later on Sunday, though, the government's account changed substantially.
But to be confronted with a reality that despite an official manifest was given to us, persons who were rescued were not manifested, that is a criminal action.
The findings meant that the original total of 133 could no longer be considered reliable. Edgell described the presence of unlisted passengers as unlawful and that the development compromised the search and rescue operation.
Because we are looking for 133 persons, 116 on a manifest and 17 crew. We don't really know the real number right now.
The briefing produced another serious development when the government announced that the captain and first engineer had reportedly tested positive for cannabis after being rescued.
The captain is a survivor. The first engineer is a survivor. A sailor is a survivor. They're at Anna Regina in the police custody. The mate, which is the second most senior person on the boat, is also a survivor.
The government subsequently suspended the team responsible for loading, dispatching, and managing the MV Bereimma. Meanwhile, a government tender issued in March estimated the proposed rehabilitation of the MV Bereimma at $124.5 million Ghana dollars and listed work involving the hull, propulsion, steering, cargo hatch, and seawater valves. Edgell confirmed the authenticity of the document, but maintained that the document reflected routine maintenance and did not mean the vessel had been declared unsafe.
The MV Bereimma, it's an old vessel. But it's a vessel that has been kept intact. It was last dry docked in 2024, and it's due for dry docking, as you would have seen advertisement in the newspapers, in the latter half of 2026.
The government also announced a multi-agency investigation involving the police, the Ghana Defense Force, MARID, and maritime specialists. It is expected to examine passenger and cargo records, loadings and stability, maintenance, safety compliance, crew conduct, and the emergency response. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
As the MV Bereimma tilted into the darkness, sleeping children disappeared from their parents' sight. Survivors recollected screams spreading across the ferry as passengers fought their way in rough waters and families began a nightmare that has not yet ended. We have more details in this report.
Survivors of the MV Bereimma have offered separate, harrowing accounts of the moments surrounding the capsizing, from a passenger who remains unable to stop shaking to another who remembers parents desperately searching for children who had been asleep on the floor. Officials initially said 116 passengers and 17 crew members were aboard, but the manifest was later found out to be unreliable. Only 35 of the 67 survivors appeared on the official passenger manifest, leaving the government in a squabble to determine exactly how many persons were traveling on the ferry. However, one survivor struggled to reconstruct the journey, and the moment conditions changed aboard the ferry, his account came in broken sentences, interrupted by emotion.
I mean, the fight to come out. I mean, I don't know how me find a spot to come out. And when they come out, by the time they watch something, you see them back. You know, the boat soak down them over. Or the boat cover them over, I don't know.
A second survivor became overwhelmed while recounting her experience. She spoke about searching for or holding on to loved ones amid the confusion.
Oh, but when they saw them lash me away, I thought them pit me fall and I thought them pitch me, try to feel me baby self and golly, but me not feel them. Oh my God, oh. Golly's 12 years, next month the 16th could be she born, she'll get about 13 years. Oh my God, oh.
A third survivor recalled becoming concerned several hours into the journey. He described repeated movements aboard the vessel and the unease that spread before passengers attempted to rest.
Me say me down here, come me drink some water, and I get a little piece of my parcel, and me start paddle up my hand and beat up. I pull a life jacket. When me hold this life jacket on, me start beat going. But I hear people hollering for help, but I couldn't help nobody how we being there too.
Another passenger gave the clearest description of the panic after the ferry began to tilt. They recounted that passengers screamed and called for relatives as they tried to escape.
Well, from the boat start to camp, everybody started hollering and screaming. Because when the boat can't, a lot of people was looking for their babies because they went to sleep on the ground and the baby just washed away. So they stuck looking for their baby, I stuck looking for the sky. Because we had to swim out of there.
While those survivors are now able to describe what they endured, Royston Frank is still waiting for his son, a sailor who had worked aboard the MV Bereimma for more than 10 years. Frank said his son had previously complained about problems with the vessel.
Yeah, he was complaining about the boat giving a lot of problems. I think at one time the boat engine burned up at Kaitumo, and they had to send for mechanics and them stuff and repair it before they come back to Georgetown. Then the other day, I think he told us that some problem again the boat get.
Search teams continued working Monday as more bodies were recovered. Identification is being conducted with the assistance of relatives at the charity hospital. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, the opening of the annual National TOSHAOS Council Conference was on Monday postponed following the MV Bereimma tragedy. Antonio Day reports.
The opening of the 2026 National TOSHAOS Council Conference was on Monday postponed, with Indigenous leaders trying to come to terms with the tragedy that struck the 87-year-old MV Bereimma. The government of Ghana has confirmed that 10 bodies have so far been recovered following the incident, and the exact location of the determined. during an opening session with the Indigenous leaders Monday afternoon at the Artichon Conference Center. Vice President Barjack said the government is currently hopeful for more survivors.
We are still hopeful and we are not discontinuing that effort. We're still fully mobilized with the hope that we'd have many more survivors than those who were rescued.
The Vice President informed leaders that so far, crew members were found with traces of marijuana in their system and are now in police custody, assisting with investigations.
We put out a hotline to ask people who know that their family members were on the boat but may not have seen their names in the manifest or the rescued list.
He added that authorities are currently working to identify everyone who was on the boat, the establishment of a hotline to reach family members. Names have been cross-checked with rescue and medical records to clarify the situation. It is disclosed that Head of State Irfan Ali visited key locations in Regions 1 and 2 and met with relatives of the missing victims and those unaccounted for. The NTC conference would now be open on Tuesday under the theme, Empowering Leadership while Building Sustainable Village Economies through Inclusive Partnership. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
As search and rescue efforts continue following the MV Bereimma tragedy, Guyana's opposition parties are presenting a united front demanding accountability and transparency. More details in this report.
As the nation anxiously awaits answers following the MV Bereimma tragedy, Guyana's opposition parties have intensified calls for a full and independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. The renewed calls come amid growing uncertainty over how many people were actually on board. Government officials disclosed on Sunday that while 67 persons had been rescued, 32 of them were not listed on the vessel's official passenger manifest. Opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed said every aspect of the tragedy must be subjected to a transparent and independent investigation.
The vessel is not seaworthy. I just received some documents and I will be publishing the documents so that everyone can see. It is not seaworthy.
Mohammed also pointed to conflicting accounts surrounding the incident, while Public Works Minister Juan Edgell has maintained that the vessel was not overloaded and was struck by a large wave. Several survivors have claimed the ferry was carrying excessive cargo and passengers. Chairman of VPAC Doran Best believes Minister of Public Works Juan Edgell should step aside and allow an impartial probe.
We are calling for an impartial investigation, one that should also see the immediate removal of the minister responsible for this ministry because of his own action.
The Alliance for Change echoed calls for an independent investigation, but went a step further, demanding that President Irfan Ali immediately remove the Minister of Public Works and the Director General of the Maritime Administration Department to ensure an impartial probe. The party is also calling for a formal commission of inquiry to examine every aspect of the disaster, including the vessel's seaworthiness, regulatory oversight, emergency response, search and rescue operations, and compliance with international maritime safety standards. Meanwhile, the People's National Congress Reform, a partnership for national unity, has also expressed solidarity with the affected families and urged authorities to deploy every available resource to the ongoing search and rescue efforts.
Well, I don't know why politics has to play a role in this. This should not be a political issue. This should be an issue of national support, of national coming together. While we are playing politics in Guyana, we have Guyanese citizens who are underwater.
Leader of the Forward Guyana movement, Amanza Walton Desir, called on all to put aside politics and deal with the issue at hand.
Let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers. There'll be enough time after to see what went wrong and to understand what happened. But let's resist the urge to politicize it for now. Let's just support our men and women who are out there on the ocean.
The government has already sent home the entire management team responsible for the loading, dispatch, and overall management of the MV Bereimma, pending the official investigation into the vessel's capsizing. According to government, the move is intended to preserve the integrity of the probe by preventing any interference with evidence. As part of the investigation, the Guyana Police Force has already secured CCTV footage from the Kingston Goods Wharf for review. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, we have more news after this break.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Quartz has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Whatever your dream is, Republic Bank can help you make it happen. You can make it happen. Let's help you get there with a Make It Happen loan.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Krishna Rao Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Manripo, East Coast and Marara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 619-7880. At Krishna Rolf Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Honestly, when I first started, I didn't really think of myself as a leader. But then I joined ExxonMobil Guyana, and little by little, year by year, I grew into that role. Watching the next generation learn, then seeing them build their careers in the oil and gas industry, and at ExxonMobil Guyana, has been incredibly rewarding. Seeing so many young women who remind me of myself when I first started, and knowing that I played a small part in their journey, is what Build Her really means to me. Build Her, building the future of energy in Guyana.
Welcome back. You are watching the HGP Nightly News. As Guyana continues to grapple with the devastating MV Bereimma tragedy, messages of sympathy and support are pouring in from across the Caribbean and the wider international community. Regional leaders of foreign governments and international organizations have expressed solidarity with the families of those affected while commending the ongoing search and rescue efforts. We have more details in this report.
The outpouring of international support for Guyana continues following Saturday night's sinking of the MV Bereimma, as regional governments and diplomatic missions express condolences to the families of those affected and pledge support for ongoing recovery efforts. The tragedy has drawn widespread attention across the Caribbean, particularly after government officials disclosed that the actual number of people aboard the vessel remain uncertain. The Caribbean Community CARICOM said it is deeply saddened by the incident and stands in solidarity with the families and communities impacted by the disaster. The regional bloc praised the courage and dedication of the rescue teams, including the Ghana Defense Force, emergency responders, and private boat operators who joined the overnight operation, while expressing hope that those still unaccounted for will be rescued. Condolences also came from regional leaders, including Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis Dr. Terence Drew, and Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar confirmed that Trinidad and Tobago has deployed air and naval assets along with defense personnel to assist Guyana's recovery efforts. The CARICOM private sector organization also expressed solidarity with Guyana, saying it remains ready to provide support as the country responds to the tragedy. Meanwhile, the United States Embassy in Georgetown honored the bravery of the rescuers who responded throughout the night and offered prayers for the safe recovery of those still missing. The High Commission of Canada also conveyed its concern and commended the professionalism and commitment of the Guyana Defence Force, maritime authorities, emergency responders, and medical personnel involved in the operation. Similar messages came from the British High Commission, which said the United Kingdom stands with Guyana during this difficult period, while the Chinese embassy expressed sympathy and indicated that China is prepared to provide assistance in accordance with Guyana's needs. As the search and rescue operation continues, the growing international support reflects the widespread concern over one of Guyana's most significant maritime disasters in recent history. Travis Chase, HGP, Nightly News.
Antonio Day tells us that works on the highly anticipated Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge in Linden is close to completion as engineers work to rectify technical issues before the structure can be opened to the public.
Minister of Public Works Juan Edgell recently met with project contractors, consultants, and engineers to review progress of the $35 million Wismar-Mackenzie River Bridge. Edgell said the bridge itself is almost complete, but attention is now centered on ensuring the approach embankments remain stable over the long term.
The issues that we are having is the approach to the bridge and the movement of the soil. How we will have a stable embankment, you would not see movement after a couple of years of usage.
Engineers are currently conducting further geotechnical assessments due to the settlement in the bridge approaches, and an update on the bridge's completion will be known shortly. Mark Goring, Region 10's representative for the We Invest in Nationhood, when contacted, told Nightly News to base on his observations, there are some technical issues with the two approaches on the bridge.
There was some delay concerning the movement from pipe with the company and Guyana.
The Region 10 Vice Chairman hopes the project will be ready for the new school term.
If that don't finish, we get serious logistics when it comes to morning rush hour with crossing the bridge. So I was hoping that we get some update that will say exactly the bridge will be completed by August 1st.
One official familiar with the project and works with the contracted company, China Railway Company, told Nightly News that the main construction works were completed as of April. However, despite the completion of the primary phase, the project has encountered delays in the auxiliary works. These secondary tasks involve finishing the roads that link both Wismar and Mackenzie, a crucial component for ensuring seamless transportation and accessibility. With the April deadline passed, a new deadline is yet to be made public. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Carbon Examinations Council CXC has notified stakeholders after widespread consultations of sweeping changes to its school-based assessment system. Traditional SBAs are set to be phased out for several non-practical carbon secondary education certificate and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam subjects beginning in 2027. Marvin Cato has more.
Dr. Nicole Manning, Director of Operations, Caribbean Examinations Council, recently said sweeping changes by the Caribbean Examinations body is expected to protect the integrity of the examinations. In a video released by the examinations body, Dr. Manning informed of the changes.
It was designed with a clear and noble purpose to give students the opportunity to demonstrate what they know and what they can do over time in the real context of their school and their community.
The move comes as the regional examinations body seeks to preserve the integrity of its qualifications amid the growing use of generative artificial intelligence by students. Under the revised framework, subjects including mathematics, English, Caribbean history, social studies, and the principles of business will transition from the traditional SBA to an examination-based assessment known as Paper 032. Students will receive assessment topics approximately 1 month before the examination, allowing them time to conduct research and prepare their responses.
But in recent years, the SBA has come under serious strain, and the single greatest source of that strain is generative artificial intelligence.
They will also be permitted to bring reference notes into the examination room before completing the assessment under supervised conditions. Practical and project-based subjects including agriculture science, visual arts, music, physical education, technical drawing, and food and nutrition and health will continue to use the existing SBA model. The transition will be introduced in phases. CAPE candidates in non-practical subjects will move to Paper 032 for the May-June 2027 examinations, while CSEC students will have the option of using either the existing SBA or Paper 032 in 2027 before the new format becomes mandatory in 2028. CXC said the changes are intended to ensure that assessments continue to accurately measure students' knowledge and abilities while maintaining confidence in their region's qualification. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
They're scampering through for the single. Is this the victory? Yes, it is! Wherever we play, the energy lives.
ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League.
Honestly, when I first started, I didn't really think of myself as a leader. But then I joined ExxonMobil Guyana, and little by little, year by year, I grew into that role. Watching the next generation learn, then seeing them build their careers in the oil and gas industry and at ExxonMobil Guyana has been incredibly rewarding. Seeing so many young women who remind me of myself when I first started and knowing that I played a small part in their journey is what Build Her really means to me. Build Her, building the future of energy in Guyana.
Shopping is a lot easier with Quartz Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products. And with Quartz Ready Finance, there's no deposit. You can keep your cash. It's flexible, so you can choose a payment plan that works for you. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. And you get payment protection. Shop at Quartz today and get what you want, hassle-free. Quartz Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Thanks for staying with us. You are watching the HGP Nightly News. Traffic Chief and Assistant Commissioner of Police Mahendra Singh has hinted that the Guyana Police Force's Traffic Department is looking to ramp up fees for illegal parking of heavy-duty vehicles across the country by 400%. Singh said the current fixed penalty of $5,000 for offenses such as illegal parking, leaving a vehicle in a dangerous position, or obstructing traffic is no longer serving as an effective deterrent. Here is more from Marvin Cato.
Public Works Minister Juan Edgel, during a live Facebook engagement, announced the arrival of heavy-duty vehicle clamps that were officially handed over to the Guyana Police Force to aid with the issue of errand drivers who continue to disregard government's repeated calls to desist from transporting overweight material and cargo, as well as illegally parking heavy-duty vehicles along major roadways. The procurement of 400 clamps, according to Minister Edgel, represents a major step in strengthening enforcement against such actions.
We now have the arrival of 400 plaques.
Edgil cautioned that operators of overloaded trucks and those who park vehicles illegally on public roads and road shoulders will face immediate consequences. Specifically, trucks carrying more than the legally prescribed limit of 15 tons per axle, in keeping with existing regulations, will be clamped, detained, and subjected to legal action.
I am quite satisfied that the traffic chief and the traffic officers throughout the regions have been doing their utmost to help.
Traffic Chief Mahindra Singh, during the handing over of the heavy-duty clamps, explained that due to the lawlessness, he proposed an increase in fines that would see it increase to $50,000. Singh said drivers are operating as though the current $5,000 fine is a parking fee, and a steeper amount should act as a better deterrent.
That the next step for us is not only utilizing them, but we will ensure that we make the recommendation or proposal to have the fines associated with leaving a motor vehicle in a dangerous condition, for which these clamps help us to identify the owners or driver, increase at least 400% above the cost.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Guyana, August 1st is Emancipation Day. Come to the National Park and celebrate with the African Cultural Development Association ACTA at Emancipation Festival 33. Come celebrate with performances by Guyana's best local acts and a spectacular finale by our international guests. Come for the African food, music, history, storytelling, and all things African. Gates open at 10 a.m. sharp. Children under 12 free. Adults $1,000 before 3 p.m., $2,000 after. Let's celebrate the eons of African contributions to the world. Harambe, we all pull together.
Honestly, when I first started, I didn't really think of myself as a leader. But then I joined ExxonMobil Guyana, and little by little, year by year, I grew into that role. Watching the next generation learn, then seeing them build their careers in the oil and gas industry and at ExxonMobil Guyana has been incredibly rewarding. Seeing so many young women who remind me of myself when I first started and knowing that I played a small part in their journey is what Build Her really means to me. Build Her, building the future of energy in Guyana.
They're scampering through for the single. Is this the victory? Yes, it is. Wherever we play, the energy lives.
ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio D. Here's what you need to know as we turn to news in the region. The government of Belize, in partnership with UNICEF and key national stakeholders, has taken a major step towards better protection of the country's children, convening child protection actors to prepare for the formation of the Child Protection and Child Justice Steering Committee. The new committee, known as the CPSC, brings together government ministries, the National Commission for Families and Children, and the Office of the Special Envoy for Families and Children and Development Partners. The aim is to create a more integrated and effective child protection and child justice system, one better equipped to shield children from violence, abuse, and neglect. The establishment of the committee responds to the findings of the 2024 National Assessment, which pointed to the need for stronger coordination, clearer accountability, and improved alignment across the country's child protection and justice systems. The government of Belize and UNICEF have reaffirmed their shared commitment to strengthening the systems that prevent and respond to violence against children. Still with news in the region, At least 3 people have reportedly died, several others have been injured, and 1 person remains missing following a late-night boat collision off St. Lucia's west coast. According to the St. Lucia Times, the head-on collision occurred around midnight in waters between Soufrière and Canaries. 1 vessel was traveling south while the other was heading north when the accident happened. Reportedly, several passengers suffered serious injuries, including broken arms, broken legs, and other injuries. Emergency responders launched several search and rescue operations, which were continuing as authorities searched for the missing individual. In an official statement, the country's Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, expressed condolences following the tragedy, identifying 2 of the victims as Makeda Nesta and Debbie Delore. Pierre commended officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the St. Lucia Fire Service, the Coast Guard, medical personnel, and all other parties involved in the emergency response for their efforts. And finally, with international news, U.S. gasoline pump prices crossed the $4 gallon mark on Monday as renewed hostilities between the U.S. and Iran further disrupt energy flows through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil supplies. National average retail gasoline prices have climbed more than 30% since the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran at the end of February. The average pump price on Monday was $4.30 a gallon, according to data from the American Automobile Association. The $4 per gallon mark, a price point of financial pain for many households, was last reached in late March after Iran halted traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Prices retreated below that threshold in June after the US and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding to end the war. Before the Iran war, about 20% of the global oil supplies flew through the strait. High pump prices have become a political flashpoint for US President Donald Trump and his Republican Party, which will soon be campaigning to hold on to thin majorities in Congress in November midterm elections. That has brought us to the end of Monday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio Day. Thank you for watching, and do take care.
Let's now join Delwyn Neblet for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Monday, July 20, 2026. We begin tonight with chess. Action concluded in the Guyana Chess Federation's 2026 National Junior Championships at Olympic House in Liliendal on Saturday. Kyle Couchman finished with 8.5 points and successfully retained his title after playing to a hard-fought draw against runner-up candidate master Sachin Pitimba in the 9th and final round. Pitimba finished with 8 points as woman candidate master Aditi Joshi finished in 3rd place with 6.5 points. Alexander and Nicholas Zhang finished in 4th and 5th places respectively. Moving into cycling, action continued in the Kaitro Attack Racing Cycling Club's Keep Fit Race Series with race number 2 at the National Park in Georgetown on Sunday. After 36 laps of intense action, Robin Prasad emerged as champion in a scorching time of 1 minute 16 seconds. Sagan Hubbard finished in 2nd place as Alex Mendes finished in 3rd. Andre Green, Garen Williams, and Aaron Newton finished in 4th, 5th, and 6th places respectively. Into football, action took place in the Bartica Football Association's Youth Ensemble Under-13 League with 3 fixtures at the Bartica Community Centre ground in Region 7 on Saturday. Potaro Strikers thrashed Rivers View 13-2 as Beacons also secured a dominant 8-2 victory over Agatash United. The final match was a comfortable 4-1 victory for Millballers over Lazio. Moving into cricket, action continued in Cricket West Indies 2026 Rising Stars Under-19 Championship with Guyana Under-19 taking on the Leeward Islands at the Liberta Sports Club in Antigua and Barbuda on Saturday. Winning the toss and batting first, Guyana were bowled out for 272 in 47.1 overs as captain Parmeshwar Ram top scored with a $1,079,000 and Adrian Hetmeyer produced his 2nd consecutive half-century, adding a well-played 76. Matthew Miller was the pick of the bowlers for the Leeward Islands, taking 4 for 45. When the Leeward Islands responded, they were bowled out for just 151 in 37.4 overs, as Danish Persaud was destructive with the ball for Guyana, taking 4 for 31 in the commanding 121-run victory. Finally, in cricket, action took place in the fourth ODI between the West Indies and New Zealand at the Kensington Oval in Barbados on Sunday. Batting first after being sent in, the Windies were bowled out for 188 in 44.4 overs as Amir Jangu top scored with 51. Matthew Fisher was the pick of the bowlers for New Zealand, taking 3 for 40. When New Zealand responded, they reached 189 for 9 in 44.1 overs as Mark Chapman top scored with 80 and captain Mitchell Santner remained unbeaten on 34. Gudakish Modi was the pick of the bowlers for the West Indies, taking 5 for 47 as the Windies suffered a narrow 1-wicket defeat. New Zealand have now taken an unassailable 3-1 series lead, heading into the 5th and final match set to be played at the Kensington Oval in Barbados on Tuesday. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I am Delwyn Nevlet, reminding you to stay in the game.
"67 rescued, 10 dead. Government unable to say how many persons were aboard MV Bereimma. Survivors remember the screams. Father awaits missing son. Opening of National TOSHAOS Council Conference postponed to a day later amid MV Bereimma's tragedy. Location of vessel confirmed. US $35 million Wismar-Mackenzie bridge 3 months behind the schedule. Technical issues on approaches being addressed. And in sport, Windies lose a thriller at Kensington against New Zealand. Those are all major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Alethea Grant. Thanks for watching.